So you want to know what makes people successful? Well, did you know that success is a choice? You can choose to be successful or you can choose to stay where you are. And in this show, we are going to talk about the one thing that separates the super successful from everybody else.
We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.
Hey everyone, in case we haven't met, my name's Rad Burmeister. That's my brother Yanni. We're the co-founders of Unity Gym and the co-creators of the UMS, Unified Movement System, where we turn driven people into superhumans. And the way we do that is that we've created a program that has a balance between strength and flexibility. It's very unique. If you want to know how we do it, download one of our blueprints, the Strength, Flexibility, or Nutrition Blueprint. Or even better, come and join our private Facebook group, the UMS Movement Mastermind, where we go live doing these shows daily, answering your questions, and just giving great advice. Yanni?
Just great advice. That's
Great
it.
advice.
That's what it's
That's
all
right.
about.
I've got to try and find this stream so I
we
can
think
share
it's
it.
great advice.
Yeah, we do.
And before we get started on this epic topic, make sure you guys comment. If you're catching the live stream, we want to know who we're talking to. Let us know who you are, where you're tuning in from, and what you think the key to success is. What's the one thing, if there was one magic pill, magic potion to success? Look, I believe that there is one thing that will have a profound impact on your levels of success in everything that you do in life, and because it carries over to everything else. And that's what we're going to talk about today. There's many different versions of this. We've heard many different, what do you call it? Not versions. We've heard different people talk about the same thing in different ways, is the long version of what I was trying to say. I know there's a better way I could have said that. But it comes down to the same thing. And I briefly spoke about it on today's live workout on the UMS at-home workout over on Unity Gym channel on YouTube. And that is, the people often have goals, they set goals, but they play a very small game. They're ambitious about achieving those goals, but they don't understand that their mindset has to shift first. There's always a person at that level already, okay? Where you want to go to, what you want to aspire to, there's always someone that's already walking that path, okay? And what we're going to talk about today is the fact that you need to start emulating that person today. Because everything that you want to achieve in life, whether it's financial success or freedom, physical health, whatever it is, career goals, things like that, there is a very big difference between the way the person that you are today behaves, presents, works out, manages their money, and the person you emulate or aspire to be. And we have this notion that we will start behaving that way when we get there. But that's the wrong way of looking at it. You got to look at it in a way where you become that person today. Now, obviously, you might not look like that person. If it's a financial goal you're trying to achieve, you won't have the digits in the bank account just yet. But that comes as a side effect to the behaviors that you need to adopt immediately to get there, you know. And that from the moment that you make the decision to behave, to think, to work out like that person, to eat like that person, then you open the doorway and set off on the journey of becoming that person. And it's a very, very strange thing to think about, you know, but our good friend Ben Pakulski, who was a professional bodybuilder, made it to the top 10 of the Olympia, which is an extremely hard thing to do. Very, very incredible achievement. You know, he talks about the avatar that you are when you do certain things, you know. And for us, it's just about that shifting that mindset and becoming that person immediately.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't for decades realize, you know, how much work is required to achieve the goals that you want. And the funny thing is that when you talk to the people that are walking the path that you want to walk, they very rarely talk about how hard it is to do it, because once you make those changes, you know, there's a really good saying that I love. I think it was, I can't remember exactly how it goes, but the idea of it is that if you want to do the work and be happy to get to where you want, or if you want to sit there and do nothing and be miserable, the level of difficulty is the same. It's just that you choose which one you're going to do.
Yeah.
So it's just what you put your effort into. And we did it for decades. We had these lofty ambitions, but we weren't doing anything to achieve it. And you just keep talking the talk about how I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then you finally meet somebody like Ben or whoever it is, business coaches that we've had who have gotten there, and you look at the way that they live their life from day to day and minute to minute. And it's just so different to the average person. But it's not an effort for them. It's not that they're struggling. It's just that they made the decision that they weren't going to stuff around wasting their time on rubbish, and they're going to act like a successful person. And that's something that we made a change to do, So I guess a common one is, everybody wants to lose weight, right? Well, not everybody, but so many people in the fitness industry, they want to lose weight. And they say, I want to lose 20 kilos. I want to lose 20 kilos. And they, this is the one that we always talk about. People say, I wish I was lucky like you and I had good genetics. And I just say, what a joke. If you want to look like the way I do, if you want to have the body composition that people like us have, you've got to do the things that we're doing. And we eat in a way that a lot of people call extreme and full on, but it's not extreme and full on. It's only extreme and full on compared to the way that everybody else that's unhealthy is eating, And when you start to eat healthy, and you step outside and you say, I'm just going to go and get something to eat now. And you look at all of the choices that are available and you think, well, this is shit. I've got to go and make my own food, you know?
Well, that's the thing. The thing is, when you think in the manner that is leading you towards your 20-kilo weight loss goals, you don't see all the shit anymore. It disappears.
Yeah, it
because
does.
you have tunnel vision on where you need to go and what you need to be consuming, you know? And it cancels out all that. But you have to first decide that you're going to become that person, When you become the person who's 20 kilos leaner or has a ripped physique, you don't see the shit anymore, Like, you really don't. Like, Kalisha had a birthday yesterday and I got tipped off by one of her work friends, two of her family, that they were all delivering cake, to our house. So make sure someone's at home because I've sent a cake. But who fucking knew you could have couriered cakes now, And I was like, Jesus, I know what I'm like in the afternoon. I've worked out hard at the gym. I've worked all day. I put in a hard day. I was building furniture for the gym all day and doing all these live streams. It's energetic. And I get home and my willpower's at an all-time low and I want to curl up in front of a good documentary on Netflix or read a good book. And if there's 3 different types of cake in my house, there's a high probability I'm going to have a slice of cake, I'm just like the other person, but because my brain is so heavily geared onto my physical goals, I go, okay, there is absolutely no chance I'm going home and settling in without going for a run first, because I want to put myself in the stead where the moment I have a slice of cake, it's just going to get vaporized by the depletion in my muscle glycogen, Now, I only think like that because I've pre-programmed myself to think like that because I am aspiring to become a certain person, There wasn't a chance in hell that I would have gone home and had a slice of cake without going for a run first. Now, some people might call me obsessive, and I 100% agree with you. When you decide that you want to do something, and what happened there? And you decide that you want to be a certain person or present in a certain way or emulate something or a goal, then yes, you become obsessed with it. And there's nothing wrong with that,
Yeah, absolutely.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Quick shout out to a few people on the live stream. Steve Kavanagh, Yasha, Mahmoudi. I don't know if I've got that right. Hi, guys from Vancouver. Simon. Hey, guys from the UK.
And Oscar. Remember Oscar from Fitness First?
Yeah.
Nice to see you on the stream, brother. And you're absolutely right. Sorry, guys. When I'm on my phone, I'm actually looking at the interaction from all of you guys here.
Rad's Starship Enterprise laptop doesn't fit on this little table.
Yeah, that's right.
He's got a gaming laptop and it's disgustingly ridiculous.
So, yeah, look, it's one of those things where, man, you have to make a decision to be a different person. Because the ambitions that you want, if you want more wealth, if you want a better physique, if you want to be more flexible, if you want to be stronger, if you want to be able to do calisthenics, any of these things are going to require work to get there. unless you go and win the lottery, that's the only one of those things that you could get overnight. You cannot get calisthenics skills or flexibility by winning something.
Yeah,
you
but
can only do the work.
Statistically, even if you win the lottery and you haven't changed your mindset to be
you
a
lose
rich
it all.
person,
Yeah,
you lose it all anyway, and you end up
within
broke.
12 months.
Yeah.
So you have to change who you are, and it starts today. It starts with the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So it starts with every single little choice that you do, and you have to start acting the way that you want to be. Like Roger Talevsky yesterday was saying, when we were talking about flexibility, he was saying, man, I'm getting stiffer and stiffer as I get older. I've just got to do it. I've just got to get started. And that's exactly right. That's one of the biggest things that we get. People talk about, because flexibility is one of the things that we've become known for, and people come to us for because we get great results.
Well, it's one of the things that have given us the biggest breakthrough in the last 10 years.
Yeah, and we
by
weren't
a long way.
and we weren't flexible 5 years ago. So we're not talking about, this is what we developed when we were 4.
Like that fucking troll on YouTube.
What a douchebag. But it's something that we made a decision that we were going to say we are going to become flexible people, and we started doing the work. And so many people say, oh man, I'm just so stiff, I can't, I just can't get flexible. That's rubbish. You're not doing the work. You're not, you haven't made the effort, and you're not doing the work.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And the reason why we leveled up our flexibility, guys, is because we hit a ceiling in our progression, in our strength, that I just couldn't break above. And we started to get injuries. I had got to like 180 kilo back squat, which I worked my butt off for. And I never was able to squat heavier than that. And then I injured my knee and did a couple of things that I needed to have, like playing soccer and that sort of thing. And then when I came, the second time around, when I said, I want to get as fit and strong as I could possibly be, I'd done it before as, emulating a bodybuilder. I'd had a little play emulating a powerlifter. I'd even had a little go emulating a CrossFitter. And, none of those extremes that I went down, balance, strength, or flexibility, and all of them resulted in me getting strong and being definitely probably my physical capabilities were superior to the average person. I by no means was a high-level CrossFitter or powerlifter or bodybuilder at all, But all of them led to issues and resistance in my ability to progress. And so then this time around, I decided, stuff it. I'm going to try this thing, balance my body. I'm not getting any younger, and went at it with a much higher ratio, better ratio of strength and flexibility. And I cannot stress to you how much it's improved my physical capability, and I'm now starting to really ramp up in strength and things like that. And yeah, it's a different feeling. It's a very different feeling this time around, you know.
We've got some good engagement here. So Aidan Potts is saying, what's up, guys? Had a big breakthrough in flexibility recently. Felt like my hamstrings and groin opened up overnight. Love the ostrich walk. Felt like it's made some massive improvements. Aidan, that is exactly what happens with flexibility. We talk about this all the time because it's about the brain delaying when the neural inhibitors kick in through the stretch. So I have experienced personally stretching for 6 months and seeing zero progress, and overnight going from about that far off the middle splits to touchdown on the middle splits. That I can remember that so clearly. So that's really awesome, man. Carmine Matroni is saying like-minded community is key, otherwise embrace the grind. I'm going to talk about that in just a sec. That's absolutely right. And Simon Cipolla is saying, I was told by my physio that I shouldn't do calisthenics because it is bad for my joints and I am too old, and something I shouldn't do because I didn't start young. I have decided to ignore him. I hope I will be able to prove his position wrong. Can you let us know how old you are, Simon? I'm very interested. So
first and foremost, that is the most ridiculous thing for anyone to say, because calisthenics is basically like, don't do push-ups, don't do squats.
Yep.
A squat is a calisthenic movement. It's controlling your body weight.
It's ridiculous.
So your physio's a dickhead, mate.
Yep. Carmine, so like-minded community is key, otherwise embrace the grind. Absolutely. I wouldn't say otherwise embrace the grind, though. I'd say embrace the grind anyway. But the like-minded community is key is a very, very
Simon's 44.
poignant thing to... 44? fucked if I'd be giving up on calisthenics at 44. I'm about to turn 42. I only started calisthenics a few years ago. Fucking hell.
You need to go and...
Mate, we've got people in their
and-
60s that are starting calisthenics and getting their first muscle up at 65, mate, at our gym here.
Yeah.
And there you can go and see the footage of that on our Instagram page.
And watch
if you
how
want to.
empowering that is.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And that's no joke. These are legit. You can see those results on our Instagram page. Getting a like-minded community is absolutely key. And this is one of the hardest things, because when you choose to become the person that you want to be, there's actually three things that are going to happen to the people around you. Either they're going to come with you on the journey, they're going to stay where they are and you're going to leave them behind, or they're going to stay where they are and they're going to drag you back and hold you down.
Self-sabotage.
And we've had people in tears in workshops with us when we said that, because they were crying, saying, well, my partner is really overweight and they're never going to eat the way that I eat, and they're never going to exercise. So what are you saying? What am I going to do? Am I going to leave my partner? Is that what you're advising me to do? And we said, absolutely not. That's not what we're advising you to do. But can't you see that one of these three things is going to happen? And guess what? One of them did happen.
And on that note, there's many people that we've had to leave behind because of that, because it was a dysfunctional relationship that was going to get in the way of us achieving our true potential.
Yeah, and we're not saying. I mean, I'm not saying you have to say to someone, F you, I'm never going to see you again. But mark my words, if you want to go, if you and everyone around you is operating at the same level, if you want to go to the next level, you're either going to leave those people at that level or they're going to come with you. One of the two is going to happen. Doesn't mean you're never going to see them again.
9 times out of 10, when you do leave them behind, they end up trying to catch up later. You inspire them to take that step forward. And not everyone is ready at the same time. Yeah. Not everyone's ready to level up at the same time. Those, it's very individual. And you can't hate on that person for not being ready. But yeah, you certainly don't. The answer is not to self-sabotage your success, self-sabotage your true potential,
Yep.
Man, lead by the front. Lead by the front. Don't be a follower.
Yeah. People say...
Be an inspiration.
Yeah, a lot of people ask as well. A lot of people ask the question, I'm trying to get my husband or my wife or my best friend or my whatever to lose weight or to get in shape or whatever. What can I do to get them to do it? The only thing that has been proven to work is that you can inspire them by being a better person yourself. How many people can honestly say that they've had success by saying, you need to make this change? Make this change because it's good for you and what you're doing right now is really bad. Can anybody tell me that they've ever had success doing that? I never have. The only way you'll ever really get to change someone is if you just let them do what they do, but you become the better version of yourself. And eventually they'll go, Jesus, look at the way that this person is living their life now. Look at the results they've achieved. And they start coming up to you and going, what are you doing? How do you get this? We get that all the time with our Unity Gym members. People say, oh, my friend wants to come into the gym because they can't believe I've lost, 10 kilos, or they can't believe how strong and flexible I am, But try to tell that person, oh, you should join this gym when they haven't seen anything happen. It means nothing.
That's exactly right.
So if we bring this back to, the topic of the conversation, you've got your goals. And let's talk about flexibility, because we get asked this so many times. People say, how do I get more flexible? Start doing the things now that flexible people are doing.
Yeah.
The most flexible people in the world, gymnasts, I'll quote Christopher Summers. If the strongest people in the world are stretching their asses off, why aren't you?
Yeah.
Because that's what gymnasts are doing.
Yeah.
Gymnasts aren't flexible because they think about being flexible and they just go and do muscle ups all day and bench press.
Or because they got great genetics.
They're flexible because they stretch their asses off. Yeah. And of course, within the limits of what we say, we're not talking about hurting yourself or pushing yourself into injury. Yeah. But start stretching.
But they stretch every day.
Yeah, that's right.
And they have a process and a program to do it, a structure. They don't just do it randomized. They don't fluke it. Yep. It's very precise, just like strength training. And I think this is the big thing that people need to understand. If you want to level up your flexibility or your strength, because that's my process was that I wanted to do something that was going to aid in my strength. I get a kick out of lifting big weights and being able to do amazing things with my body. And I didn't go into it going, I want to be able to do the splits. I want to be able to just be stupidly flexible. I didn't go at it like that. It was very different for myself than Rad. I wanted to do something that would complement my performance, and I had tried everything else. I'd boxed at a very high level, 33 hours a week of specific training to become the best boxer I could become. And I started to really hurt myself, my shoulders. I tore my tricep tendon. I had lifted weights every day, 5-6 days a week for a decade, and I'd become very muscular and stiff and broken. I had started really focusing on the 3 big lifts, bench press, squat, and deadlift, and I'd achieved 140 kilo bench press. I don't know what that is in pounds. 180 kilo back squat. I don't know what that is in pounds. 220 kilo deadlift. Like, good numbers for a natty athlete, you know, but I was beat up. I blew out both my shoulders. You know, I had constant pain everywhere. So I wanted to do something that was going to complement my performance, and that's why I went at flexibility. But I didn't just randomize it. I didn't just go and start trying to look at a stretch chart in a gym. We created a system, a program. I went at it as seriously, just like you and Richard did, as your strength training, you know. And I adopted this mentality of, okay, well, I need to start thinking like a professional gymnast does. How do we approach flexibility training, you know? Yep. And a lot of it was steered by yourself, you know, because you had always had goals to be flexible, and I kind of just jumped on your coattails and followed what you were doing. But so in that essence, I guess you could say I employed a flexibility coach, yep, and you employed a flexibility coach.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. If you really want to achieve greatness in something, you've got to get a coach for it. It's there's a point where once you've watched enough of these videos and you have to say, look, I need to know how all these pieces fit together, and get some really good advice. I mean, for me personally, you know, if I talk about what did I do, what's the change that I made to be the person I want to be most recently, the big one was stop drinking. When I stopped drinking this year, I can tell you right now, the reason I did it was I have massive physical goals. I want to be an industry leader in what we do. I do not want to be the dude that manages this company and who's got all these programs but can't actually do it themselves. That's a massive, massive thing for me. It's really important to me that I lead by example. And I'm behind the 8 ball because I started calisthenics when I was in my late 30s. I started stretching when I was in my late 30s. The people that I'm watching that I look up to started long before I did, well before. So I thought, what do the people that are really walking the walk, that are playing the big game, what do? They don't drink. They don't party. They don't live their life like that. Yep. They are so obsessed with what they do. And I thought to myself, well, how can I play that game if I'm drinking alcohol? How can I do it? Yeah. Like whenever I've gone out with the big players, you order a beer and you say, do you want something? And they say, no, I don't drink. Yeah. And they say it with a smile on their face. They don't say it like no, I can't drink.
Yeah.
No. It's not like that. They just look at you and go, no, I don't drink.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, okay. That's different from everybody else.
Yeah, that's right.
So that was me playing the bigger game, you know. And we're not telling you to do that, but think to yourself. I mean, when we get people that come in and they say, why did I join the Movement Mastermind? This is why we're having this talk, and this is why we did this video yesterday. In the last month, more reasons why people joined this group than anything else is I want to get more flexible. Yeah. More people have said that.
And I've had so many people respond to my daily Inner Circle email, which is always the key insight, the take home from this talk is put into a half-page blog with a link back to the video. So many people come out asking me for dulled down versions of things or easier things. Like they're all playing a small game. Yep. You know, you got to stop that bullshit. Start thinking about playing a big game. Like don't try to get the world to come down to your level. Rise to the level of where you want to be.
Oh, that's
so
powerful, isn't it?
And I say this with the best of intentions. I'm not attacking anybody and I'm not trying to shame anybody, but I really mean this. Stop thinking so small and stop trying to bring people down to your level to find the suitable point for where you are now. Start rising to the occasion. You know, think, okay, how do I need to be? You're not going to be able to be that. You're not going to be able to do everything that person does right now. That comes as a mere side effect. How you physically appear in the mirror comes as a side effect to behaving like that person. And for some of you, it will take time. For some, it might take a year. You know, but you got to be intentional about it. You got to go, all right, from this point on, I'm going to do what that person does. If I want to become the person, the behaviors don't start once you look like them. It's like the people that say, oh, I'll start going to the gym once I've lost 20 kilos. You know, like what the f is up with that?
Yep.
You know, and I've heard people say that. I've literally heard people say, "Oh, I'll join your gym once I've done this," or "I'll join your, you know, I'll start doing this once I've achieved that." You know, come on, man.
Yep.
Look at it logically.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm on a rant, people. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, but the thing is, clearly we're passionate about this stuff because we want to help people. We wouldn't be doing these shows every day and putting this kind of content out without, you know, any expectation in return if we weren't passionate about this. You know, what Yanni and I and Richard have recognized is that it takes a hell of a lot of influence to actually get somebody to finally go, I'm going to act on this now, because that's what it took for us.
Yeah.
We were getting told for this decades, man. I was getting told for decades things that I'm only just acting on now.
Yeah.
I got told so much of this stuff 15 years ago.
I remember back when you were doing kung fu and you were smoking a lot of weed, you know, and your martial art, your sifu was just like so black and white. He just said, man, like you're here every day, you're training 3 hours a day, but when you leave here, you turn into a different person.
Yeah.
You're not you come in here with all this focus and drive and you want to be the head instructor and you want to be the best and this and that. But then as soon as you leave, it all goes and you start behaving like a fucking pothead, you know?
Yeah. And that's exactly what I did for 13 years of martial arts training, which is why I achieved a better result than the average person, but nothing compared to an expert.
You didn't realise your true potential. Yeah,
not
that's
even
right.
not even close to it, you know? And so many people think that the only change they have to make is, oh, okay, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to train for an hour a day. Good on you. I'm not going to take that away from you, because if you do that, you're doing more than, you know, probably 1 or 2% of the Western population. Like even of the, I think what are the statistics of people that actually regularly go to the gym in Australia? It was like 4% or something.
Yeah.
But out of those people, do they train for an hour a day, 5 days a week? Probably not that many. So you're doing more than the majority of people already.
Yeah.
Good on you.
But
don't settle. It's not enough. It's not enough to play the big game.
Yeah, don't settle. And that's what doing more than the average person got you here to this point. Now let's go further. Now, just to recap, like we did this 30-day challenge over this month about to the Movement Mastermind, and it required 10 minutes of daily meditation, then creating some affirmations that were going to start programming your thoughts to think like the person that you need to be to become the person you want to be, and then to start reading personal development books, because you don't know what you don't know. And there's a very high probability that you don't know what's required to become the person you want to be yet. And that's going to come from educating yourself. And then the last one was to practice daily visualization, to start to really visualize what it looks like to be that person, you know. And these are all things that we've had to do to get to where we are now, because we were so far disconnected from behaving the way we needed to behave to be the people we wanted to become. And Rad and I are not satisfied with where we are, and we probably never will be. You know, it's a constant work in progress, and so should you all be. You should never settle, you know, because there's always opportunity to level up and to inspire more and to behave better and to achieve more, you know. And I think that the moment you stop growing, you start dying, you know.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And I mean, I'm more blown away. Like, if anybody that doesn't know my personal story, that my darkest hour was when I was 29. I was at the lowest point in my life. Because I'd been a personal trainer for years, but I was, addicted to drugs and alcohol, and it was really showing in my ability to make a business work. And you want to talk about leading a double life. It was just pathetic, walking in and telling people how to train and exercise and be healthier, and then going and doing what I was doing outside of the gym. And that's why I joined the Army. I joined the Army because I wanted to do something that was really going to shake me up. And I said to myself, I had this vision of when I was 20, I thought, where would I be when I'm 30? And it was nowhere where I was when I was 29, and it scared the hell out of me. And I thought, if this is the direction that my life's on, where am I going to be when I'm 40? I was lucky enough to have that foresight to think to myself, where the hell am I going to be when I'm 40 if I stay on this path? And I made a conscious decision. I said, I am not going this way anymore. I'm going to go that way. And it starts with radical change. And I'm not telling anyone to go off and join the Army. You can do this. This was 12 years ago. I couldn't find access to information like this or programs like this. So that was the best thing that I could think of doing. I couldn't find a great teacher to get this kind of information for free. But what I've achieved since then, I couldn't be prouder of. I'm so proud of what I have achieved in my life in the last 12 years. And I couldn't be prouder with the direction that my life is in right now. And I can testify, and so can you, and so can Richard, that you are the architect of your success. You are the person that controls it. You really, really are.
So we've got a couple of questions. First of all, Lee Clements she's saying she has a hubby issue. Lee, don't for 1 second think that needs to stop you, okay? You're very lucky. I am blessed with the fact that my fiance, Kalisha, who's out there grinding a workout, getting at it right now, is very much in alignment with my values. And you don't always get that. Unfortunately, when we fall in love with people, we don't always think, okay,
we're going to answer all your questions, everyone.
Does this person align with my values? But trust me when I say this, people will become inspired with your success and achievements, So just focus on you. Just focus on you leveling up. Do not allow that person to distract you from where you're going. And then you've got a very high probability of them coming along for the ride,
Absolutely. So Steve here is saying, I joined the UMS mainly to be overall fit, and a big factor was flexibility. I need to kick higher and stronger. You were the only guys I could find that combined these things. That's awesome.
There's nothing like the UMS, brother. Trust me.
Yep.
Unified strength, flexibility, and cardio fitness is not done very well anywhere else. Yep. That's what we've seen.
Simon Sapola is saying, can you say more about this program, please? It is my first time live. Listen, brother, I can give you a 30-second summary, but in all honesty, the time comes where if you seriously want to level up, you've got to start doing the research yourself. And what I can tell you is now it's all there for you on our YouTube channel. All of the shows are there. You just got to scroll down through the last 30 days of the shows that we've done, and you'll see the titles of them, and also on this page as well. But you got to download the Waking Up app on your phone and do 10 minutes of meditation.
Are you talking about the 30-day challenge?
Are you talking about the 30-day challenge?
Movement Mastermind.
Or the Mobility Masterclass,
Masterclass,
let us know. I thought you were talking about the 30-day challenge. Sam Pullman is saying, are you starting another group? No, we're not. Not sure what you're talking about there, Sam, if you want to clarify that for us. Mark Lloyd is saying, Rad, out of interest, how old were you when I joined the Army? I was 30. It was 4 days after my 30th birthday. I started the enlistment process when I was 29. It took 6 months to get my enlistment date. And it was 4 days after my 30th birthday. I'll never forget.
Kind of like a big reset button.
It's massive. No,
30-day challenge.
30-day challenge. So you got to download the Waking Up app and by Sam Harris and start doing meditations for 10 minutes a day every day. You write down your affirmations and start reading them every day. You got to create a vision board and start looking at the vision board every day. And you got to start reading for 10 pages a day or listen to 10 minutes of an
first
audio
book that we set everyone to read for the first month. If you read 10 pages a day, you get one of these books done in a month easily.
Yep.
Was Extreme Ownership by Leif Babin and Jocko Willink, and that is a brilliant read.
Yeah.
And we're finishing up our second book at the end of this month, I think. Is that right?
Well, finishing. I'm probably further ahead than most people are at it, and I'm about a quarter of the way through it. I think I'm up to chapter 5
all right.
or
So we're
something,
still cracking on with Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill,
Yep.
which was the second book.
Yep.
And we gave a sneak peek at the next book
Yeah,
because there's a
the
few
next one's
people
gonna
that are
be
just
The Power of
charging
Habit.
ahead,
Yep.
which is The Power of Habit. So Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill
Is the
the
second
second
one.
book. And that's where we got the idea of this mastermind, the UMS Movement Mastermind. It's one of the principles that he talks about in that book. And then the third book is The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. Those 3 books are going to level you up extremely.
Yeah, Mark, I should let you know as well. I actually try to talk people out of joining the army. If anybody in Australia at least is thinking about joining the army, make sure you have a good conversation with me about what it's really like in there. So yeah,
But it certainly served a purpose for you.
for me it did.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And Richard, he believes. How do you feel about the army?
It's a big conversation there.
Big
Richard
conversation
says
there.
It's a big conversation. Yeah. It ain't what it looks like on the ads. Let me tell you that. All right, well that's it. I think that was a really good chat today. We got through some good stuff, and for anybody that wants to level up their flexibility, keep an eye out tomorrow. We're going to be launching
We're
the
dropping
Mobility
it.
Masterclass.
Flash Friday, Flash Sale Fridays are back.
Yeah, at a discounted rate, and it is if you want to get flexible, get into it.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
stop
absolutely
messing
right.
around. Make a commitment. Do something that's going to get you there.
Big shout out before we finish to all the people listening on the Sound of Movement podcast. Thanks for making it this far, tribe. And if you haven't already, get yourself into the UMS Movement Mastermind private Facebook group so you can interact with us during the live streams and the live recordings. Watch this space, guys. There's going to be hopefully some big transformations to this space over the weekend. I'm working very hard on finishing up some new furniture. So it's going to be pretty cool. We will do some behind-the-scenes stories on YouTube and Instagram once it's all finished to show you around. So make sure you're a part of those groups. Other than that, one more day of training here. The UMS at-home workouts will continue tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. live Australian Eastern Standard Time to YouTube channel. And then we'll be back in here afterwards at 8:30 for the live recording of the podcast.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Thanks for the love. Thanks for supporting us, and we will see you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks for watching that video. If you liked it, consider subscribing to our channel and make sure you click the notification bell so you know when our weekly videos are uploaded. Now, the best thing for you to do if you want to stay connected with us and get free online coaching is to join our private Facebook group. It's called the UMS Movement Mastermind, and we go live daily where we answer our members' questions. It's very interactive because you can post questions while we're live and we interact with you on the show. You can also upload videos or pictures of yourself with any movements, any stretches, strength training movements, calisthenics, weightlifting, anything that you're struggling with, and we'll critique you, give you feedback, let you know how you can get better. It's a really valuable resource. It allows a lot of communication with us and also our senior tribe members. You'll get answers very, very quickly, and it's absolutely free. So jump on Facebook, search for UMS Movement Mastermind, and join now. Until next time, have a great day.